We are live. How is everybody doing? Billy, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, man. Finally glad to get on here and talk about this amazing disclosure event coming up.
We've got below us, everybody. Check it out. It's like the Brady Bunch. It's the Brady Bunch. Richard Dolan, welcome, my man. How you doing?
Happy to be here. Hey, guys.
I think I kept
everyone waiting.
Yeah,
it's my bad.
Fantastic. And we've got this big event, obviously, coming up this Saturday. I'm going to let everybody know as they're winding in right now. Richard and I hung out for like 5 straight days, had breakfast in the morning, had drinks before bed, 5 days in a row. Richard.
And we really did. We did that.
We did that. And I know what
I loved every minute of it. It was a lot of fun for me.
I'm waiting. I was waiting for Richard at any moment to break out with church. I'm just so done, man.
I hate you guys. No more. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Sounds like a great romance.
And that's the funny thing. Richard tried to leave. Yeah. I tried to leave. I check out of the hotel. Richard checks out of the hotel. He's going to flights canceled. So Richard goes back to the hotel and checks in. I'm on the free. I'm gone. I said, you know what? I'm turning around. This wasn't.
You were very nice. You actually were really very sweet. You kept me company that afternoon. I did appreciate it, my man. Thank you.
And we ended up having breakfast, lunch, and dinner that day.
Yeah, but that was good.
But it was, this is the thing, and this event, Billy, coming up this Saturday is a big deal.
Yeah.
And the media and the people and the excitement behind it. But Richard and I were able to sit and talk about all of these subjects for 5 days. We had a really good warm-up, didn't we, Richard?
I would say so. I'm very much looking forward to this event this weekend as well. And Billy, I'm glad that you're so involved in it.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of opportunity to talk about relevant issues for people today who are following everything that's going on in the UFO, UAP field. There's just so much happening.
Right. Absolutely. It's a lot going on. And what I like is that Jimmy has put together this phenomenal cast where we have speakers like yourself that have your perspective. You're focusing maybe on more on, DC and Washington and what's going on there. And Linda's going to be doing her thing, and Nick Pope's going to be doing his thing. So I'm going to be doing my thing in ancient civilizations and combining that or actually correlating it with what we see today. And so it's great to hear different perspectives of disclosure, because disclosure is not just one specific thing. It's so vast and so big. I think that people need to understand that there's so many different avenues that are here that we need to listen to, learn from, figure out exactly what's going on by sharing with one another the little pieces of the puzzles that we've all been able to, to extract.
It's like there's so many truths that disclosure entails. It's not just one thing. Maybe that's what you're getting at. Like, it's not just like the government saying, "Oh yeah, there's something out there. We don't know what that is." That's little baby steps of disclosure. There's such a long way to go and so many implications about this incredible reality that need to come out, and people are hungry to know. That's the thing. Like, we're seeing this. I remember 20 years ago when I was like a new guy around in this field. And I think back then the culture was different, and folks were much less inclined to be able to speak publicly about this. But you could always tell if you just scratch the surface with most people and they realized that there's something important going on. They realized they had a hunger for truth that they didn't actually realize they had often until that moment when you kind of tweak them a little bit and you explain that this is actually important. So now I think people are at a stage where they are more likely to wake up to the fact that they're hungry for truth. So there's definitely a lot of people out there who want to hear important truths relating to everything with disclosure.
Right.
Well, Richard, I mean, it goes without saying that you, along with Bryce Abel, but your book, AD After Disclosure, is one of the most referenced, quoted books about disclosure. It is truly, it's a desk reference for the UFO community. You've been focused on this for so long. So your take on disclosure is not only important, but it may not be the same as everybody else. But let me ask you this. Has your vision of disclosure changed since you've written the book? Do you feel the same today as you did when it was published?
Not exactly, no. We did that book in 2010, and it was a different world. I think a lot of the fundamentals we saw are exactly the same. Like I saw disclosure back then, UFO disclosure, as the ultimate revolutionary act. In other words, to really let the secret out on this truly is not going to be an attractive option for, let's say, the political and economic elites of this world. They will never voluntarily want to reveal the full truth on this because it's too disruptive. That's my opinion. That was my opinion in 2010, and that's what I believe today. But one thing that is different is that control over alternative media is much more profound than it used to be in 2010. Back in 2010, people actually, this is crazy to think, but people considered Facebook an area of free speech, and Twitter. So
and
like
YouTube was, a bastion of free speech.
Yeah. Absolutely. So back at that time, my working assumption was, the legacy media, they're all controlled. They're all in with the national security establishment. But if something breaks, if news comes out, the entire alternative media is still an area of free speech. And so my reasoning was it would be more difficult to contain important, powerful UFO information. But what we have seen since like even 2014, 2015, even a couple of years before the world had Donald Trump, it was already changing, and you saw big tech just consolidating and working hand in glove with the censorship elite of the Western world. And so by the time 2017 came around and we start seeing some actual changes in the culture, I feel like disclosure has been much more controlled than it might have been in 2010. That's the biggest difference. Yeah. So we're seeing more of there's still a great deal of resistance from the inner establishment, and they're able to control that narrative very well. Yeah. So, but the motivations haven't changed. I mean, they still don't want this out, and we're still finding our way to break through and to get our word out there. And we haven't given up.
That's a really good point, because this live stream this Saturday, which everybody, the links are in social media. You can go now. Use the promo code, the coupon code disclosure, all uppercase, $10 off right now for the event. That, Richard, this event is controlled through our media companies, Billy's media companies, our channels. There isn't a way to censor this information. Right. And we've seen so much of not only disclosures, video channel, disclosure video channel, UFO, ET conversations across the board get censored. And I would have thought that UFOs on YouTube is what they wanted, right? It just makes sense.
YouTube's become a control system, and we all see it. Yeah. So it's important to have independent platforms more than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the key. That is the key.
I want to encourage everybody, not only that is going to come in and hang out with us this Saturday, but all of us, which is Lou Elizondo, Linda Moulton Howe, Nick Pope, Billy Carson, Richard Dolan, and myself, to speak as freely as possible. Yeah. There isn't a censor machine behind any of this. Yeah. And there's a reason why these six minds, these six voices have been brought together at the same time to speak on disclosure, because it's six different takes, six different views. Richard, you're going to have people that pay attention to you that are going to be with us on Saturday, but they may not have heard from Nick or Billy or myself or Lou and have had a chance to listen to their message to the world about where we are with disclosure. That's the most exciting part about this conference.
Yeah. Lots of different voices, and everyone's brilliant, and everyone's got something to say. Well, I'm happy to hang out with you guys, so just drag me along. But we'll all have something unique to say, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I was going to say, Jimmy, it's really amazing. I've been on so many shows with Richard, even though we haven't been in the studio at the same time. We've probably been on over 20 shows,
probably
as hosts together. And so it's either they're filming you somewhere else and they're filming me somewhere, or we miss each other in the studio. And I go, how many times am I going to miss Richard Dolan coming out of a studio? I mean, it's just, I turn the show on when it finally airs like 3 or 4 months later. And I'm like, I come on right after him, or he comes on right after me. But I never see him, face to face in any of these studios.
You're not the only one, Billy. Richard and I were talking about that last week.
Right.
I don't know how many things that Richard and I have done together. I'm talking about film, television, documentaries. We've never been in the studio together at the same time.
I know.
No, we haven't.
Yeah,
until this week, until this past week, we finally shot together.
Right.
Yeah.
But well, listen, everybody, we're going to make this really quick and simple. The event is this Saturday. It's 11 hours. It's Richard Dolan, Lou Elizondo, myself, Billy Carson, Linda Moulton Howe, and Nick Pope. 2 hours each. After we get all of that done, we're going to come back for a round table at the end of the night where I get to be camp counselor and get everybody to behave. And it's a full 11 hours of forbidden disclosure. Yeah. It's this Saturday. It kicks off at 10 a.m. on the East Coast. That's 7 a.m. on the West Coast. It's 11 hours all day long. Billy and I will be there in the beginning to welcome everybody and introduce. I'll be there all day long, 11 hours. I'm going to be working with everybody. And then we're going to wrap up with a roundtable at the end of the night. Richard, thank you so much for coming in, my friend.
Glad to be here with both of you guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. Don't forget one last thing, guys. Every single person that gets a ticket to the event will have access to the free replay on Forbidden Knowledge TV for life. It's not going to cost them any additional money. They'll get a login using the same email that they use for the Eventbrite ticket. They'll get an email directly from Forbidden Knowledge TV with their login access, and they'll be able to watch this 11-hour event over and over again, pause it, replay it. They can watch it on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, iOS, Android apps, and also the web as well. All right, so you can watch it everywhere. Don't worry about if I can't sit down for 11 hours. You will be able to take your time and rewatch this amazing event over and over again.
And we're going to set this up. Check this out, Richard. So we've got 11 hours, right? We've got 5 2-hour segments, and then we have the roundtable at the end.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be set up as a season, a series.
Right.
So everything will be broken down as an episode.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So you can view this for life across all of the viewing platforms.
That's right.
There you go. All right, everybody, thank you so much. I've got a show tonight. I'm going to do a shameless plug.
All right, man, do it.
You ready, Richard? I've got Ross Coulthard on the show tonight.
Hey, very good. He's an important new voice. He's great. Yeah. Great researcher.
He's absolutely amazing. I was speaking to him earlier today. He is so smart, right? And we're just talking about all of these subjects, and he knows a lot about a lot. It's like I'm sitting with the rest of us, right, around our little table, and Ross is dialed in, man. Wow. So live from Australia tonight, Ross Coulthard.
I've been hearing about him for actually more than a year behind the scenes. I know what he's been working on, and I'm very, very glad that he's getting some attention now.
He needs it, and this community needs it. So that's my shameless plug. I've got to get out of here and get ready for the show tonight. Richard, thank you so much. Billy, thank you so much. And we'll see everybody very soon. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Peace. Don't forget the links underneath the captions.
Great.